voice sounded like an anime character. There was genuine demand in her
Stop,
community
dude!
to know what he
Stop!
looked like.
Stop! I can't do this sober. Let me drink more. It's this early into the video. This gets so much worse. I have a so-called ick. You could describe it as a violent repulsion to these like anime wannabe characters IRL. Christ, I just. Ugh. Okay, so none of you probably know the Sykkuno guy. He's like one of these like anime kind of guys that just speak in like this anime accent. It's like a Valorant accent except worse. And apparently he did something evil, dude. He did something evil.
My girlfriend of 4 years has recently become obsessed with a male streamer, and I feel really uncomfortable about it. This
What the f? Okay. Okay. That's quite the start.
was a post made on the subreddit r/relationship advice around the end of 2020.
Dude, I gotta look into this subreddit one day. It looks like an absolute cesspool. Looks like something funny could be going on there.
Particularly shocking here is that barely just a few days after making that initial post, he'd end up breaking up with his girlfriend. Her obsession with that streamer was that irrational. And during that time, she wasn't the only one who might have felt this way. That's because the male streamer in question here was none other than Sykkuno, a name and face that had become
That
a
face
core
doesn't look
memory
real. It
of
looks
the
like AI
COVID-19
generated.
pandemic, more specifically when everyone was locked up in their homes. In the span of less than a year, he would go from having 1,000 average viewers on Twitch to 50,000, even having a
That's
stream
gonna
where
be
he
me,
peaked
by
at
the
over
way.
100,000 concurrent viewers. What he'd be most known for was his gameplay of Among Us with his friends, who happened to be very big content creators as well. And while his rise to fame is definitely incredibly impressive, what was truly unparalleled here is his extremely high ratio of female viewers. Confirmed.
Oh
to
wait,
having
he's
been
one of
higher than
these.
any of his
Hold
other content
on,
creator
no.
friends.
He is the phenotype. He's the phenotype. You know that guy? Everyone has had this guy. Like everyone has known at least one moid like this. The kind of guy that is very effeminate, but he's not gay. And they hang out with all these girls. They only have female friends because no guy will ever talk to them. Because they're just like strangely effeminate and they're usually really fucking weird and cringe. So they have all these girls that they hang out with and they're friend zoned by each and every single one of them, but they try to play it off like they get all these bitches.
His handsome look, his anime-sounding voice, and his witty jokes
anime-sounding
made women
voice.
go rabid. In fact, there was also a joke that he would turn male fans gay.
Okay, maybe
but
he's
what
not
made him
friend-zoned, I
really
guess.
desirable is just how socially awkward he was. He was innocent in an endearing way. He was a boy
Innocent.
failure that needed
So
a woman
rapeable.
to fix him. In a nutshell, he was this picture, almost allergic to other women. He just couldn't handle anything romantic. He would get too flustered. This made many of his fans want to be the one to finally
It's the cringiest
fix
shit
him.
I've ever heard.
But make no mistake here, this was all a perfectly crafted image that he had made for himself.
Oh, yeah?
He wanted you to think that he was innocent, naive, a boy failure, someone who's inexperienced in relationships and would never hurt a fly. Because in reality, behind this mirage, this illusion, there was a master manipulator, a serial cheater,
Oh, yeah.
and a
serial cheater.
Someone
That's
who would
his.
make it a point
That's the worst thing
for
he's
many
ever done.
years to target smaller content creators, take full advantage of the fact that he was one of the most desirable men in the streaming world, all while making it seem
shit
like
game
he
is
had no
lagging.
experience with women and that it just might be romantic. They just might be that special someone who can fix him. What he would somehow forget to tell them, though, is that he had been in a monogamous relationship since 2021. But you don't have to
Whoops.
take my word for
Misclick.
it, because he
Misclick.
admits to everything in a recorded voice call with the victim herself. And on top of that, that same victim, who goes by the name of Hemamal VT, would choose to write a Google Doc that shows the entire timeline, her and Sykkuno's DMs together, as well as the DMs of another victim that actually slept with Sykkuno while being totally oblivious to the fact that he has been
Totally
in a relationship
obliviated.
since 2021. This might be one of the most impactful and longest running lies in content creation history. I want to thank the two victims in question for trusting me with this very heavy topic and
I
for
wish I
allowing
was
me
a
to
woman,
make
bro.
the first comprehensive video on it. So without further ado, let's get right into
Not to
this
get too
mess.
incel pilled.
Alright, so first off, who the hell
the
is Sykkuno?
fuck?
Well, before starting his
What is
streaming
that
career,
fucking
he
picture?
actually used to be a software engineer working in the Bay Area of California. His monotonous office life would change forever, though, when he would meet Lily Pichu, a well-known content creator
I'm beginning to feel like this guy doesn't really like Sykkuno. I'm just getting the feeling that this isn't very objective.
who actually started making content as far back as 2012. It was back during the Season 3 World Championship for League of Legends during the year of 2013,
Oh,
so
League of
barely a year into
Legends.
the content creator journey. Sykkuno would be aware of her content. He'd reach out to her and would want to meet her, seeing that they're both at the same place. Lily Pichu agreed, thinking, oh, am I about to meet a fan? That's awesome. She'd be absolutely shocked when that fan would show up with a massive bouquet of flowers. As she was about to thank him, he would
my
run
God.
away back to his cousins. According to him, these were his only friends at the time. He was that lonely. He was simply too embarrassed to interact with her further.
my God.
This interaction left a good impression on Lily Pichu, and they kept in touch for years to come. In fact, as she would start her streaming journey, she'd play with her friends, and one of those friends would be Sykkuno. Her viewers would start to express interest in him, especially seeing that his voice sounded like an anime character. There was genuine demand in her
Stop,
community
dude!
to know what he
Stop!
looked like. What they
Stop!
did-
Stop! I can't do this sober. Let me drink more. It's this early into the video. This gets so much worse. I've heard parts of this drama. It gets so much worse, and I'm already dying out here. I have a so-called ick. You could describe it as a violent repulsion to this these like anime wannabe characters IRL. Christ, I just. Ugh. There's something deeply wrong with these people. Pardonne-moi. I will not burp again, ever.
Didn't know though was that Lily Pichu had already shown him. He was there with her when she went to Summoners Con 2015, and he was right there with her in her vlog. But most of her community were simply not aware of this. So seeing that there was growing demand to see what he looked like, they decided to do a face reveal live on Lily Pichu's stream around the year of 2019.
Yeah. You're such a. Oh, okay, here we go. Wait, you're actually so much braver than I thought.
Only because you're here.
Hashtag brave.
Alright, I'm ending stream.
And as you can see, the chat was definitely not disappointed. In fact, Lily Pichu had such an impact on Sykkuno that she would be, well, the main reason why he would start streaming. And you can hear him say that himself.
So what convinced you to start
Well-
streaming?
Oh, Lily actually.
And speaking of
He looks
streaming,
like a
he would start doing
Colombian
so shortly after revealing his
yoga
face on Lily
trainer.
Pichu's stream. He'd start in the beginning of
don't know
2019
why.
with barely under 100 viewers, but as the months would go by, he would start to get very rapid growth. He would really start putting in serious hours by August 2019, and within
Why does my
just
game lag
1
like
year,
this?
by August 2020, he'd be sitting at 8,000 average viewers, reaching a peak of 15,000. Sykkuno, though, also had interests in other communities, such as VTubers. In 2023, for an April Fool's joke, he would debut his first VTuber model, extending his reach to a new niche community. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because at some point he was invited to a call with the Senator Bernie Sanders alongside Valkyrae and Pokimane. And instead of showing his face, he chose to be a VTuber. This was so ridiculous and it went so viral
Okay,
that
dude,
he
with the fucking
inadvertently
politician.
kind of became a spokesperson for VTubing in one stream. I mean, God, everyone.
A spokesperson for VTubing.
You see, back in 2023, Pokimane would make the very interesting revelation.
He's
that
so
Sykkuno
Machiavellian.
had the highest female demographic fan base compared to any other streamer, her included. She would compare his level of fame and the way his fans acted towards him to K-pop idols. And one of the main reasons why this worked out so well is because he was seen as a boy failure. No, not the kind of guy who's unemployed and lives
This is me.
in a dump and smells like shit. I'm talking about the ideal boy failure. The guy who's handsome, smells nice, doesn't live in a dump, but is instead just a
There's a Pikachu shirt.
hopeless romantic. Someone who turns all red when you want to initiate physical contact. And that's how a significant chunk of his fan base felt.
That is so.
If you've watched my channel before,
That
then
is so.
it's not
What
too
the
different.
fuck is this? Oh, it's this shit. I've seen. It fucking. What's it called? What's this guy called? Gypsy Crusader. Be like.
From a girl failure that has a male audience that wants to fix her. It's the same parasocial mess. Sykkuno tells his trauma about girls. Sykkuno trusts his friend, Disguised Toast, more than the girls. So this guy had barely any romantic experience, and yet still, he had his heart broken. He needs a woman that will
Trauma.
fix him and tell him it'll be okay. And maybe she'll be one of his fans. If
What's the
only he
trauma?
knew how handsome and amazingly desirable he was, though. Because he's another fan-made video. Everyone's simping for Sykkuno because who doesn't? I mean, God, if only he wasn't a boy failure and understood how smooth he was with women. But he's too naive. Because guess what? This video sitting at over 4 million views is titled Sykkuno.
This guy sounds a little jealous / salty. Not gonna. I'm not even gonna lie. Whoever this guy is that made this video, what's his name actually? Mujin. Another weeb. Another fucking weeb. Another fucking weeb. Another fucking weeb. Another fucking weeb. Maybe he's jealous because he wants to be like this fucking guy. Oh, another guy that makes me think of this kind of a phenotype person or whatever is it what's it called? Corporation husband, Marine Corps husband, whatever.
Sykkuno being smooth with girls for 14 minutes. Yeah, I think you get the point by now, right? This image of him that was so carefully crafted would attract a very large female audience. It would also allow him to be one of the only male streamers to constantly be able to hang out with a majoritarily female friend group without him or them getting in trouble with their fan bases due to jealousy. The guy was innocent.
Like he literally is that phenotype that only hangs out with foids.
Allergic to love, and he wouldn't hurt a single fly. This allowed him to do things that...
Wait, this is the woman that apologized for using, and I quote, AAVE. Because she said like, hella or something. I'm pretty sure that's her. Guys, I'm very sorry for appropriating black culture by saying hella. God. Fucking Twitch streamers, bro. They're not human. They are not human.
Other male content creators could never do. Like, dude, this is him sniffing the armpit
What the
of food
fuck? Jesus.
at some point during a podcast when they were talking about body odor. This is how much he was trusted around women. And even though his audience was very obsessed over him, they saw him as so awkward, so incapable of understanding what love or social cues mean that this was fine. They didn't mind because they were going to be the ones to fix him anyway. So it comes as no
That
surprise
sounds predatory,
that yes, some
a little
relationships.
bit.
Hemamal VT, who I'll refer to as Mal from now on, is someone who has been making content for the last year. She occasionally streams from time to time, but also tends to post cosplays on her Twitter profile, some of them being revealing. Those revealing cosplays would catch Sykkuno's attention, and he'd follow her on Valentine's Day of 2026. In barely a few days, he would start talking about how they should move in together into the same house, all while having a girlfriend. When Mal would find out about the
Freaky
girlfriend, she would
motherfucker.
decide to write a Google document. The Google document would contain Mal's side
Okay,
of the
also-
story as well as Elfie Leah's side of the story. Another VTuber who, of course,
First
also
thing she
posts
does
cosplays
is
from time to time.
thinks
which is why
about
Sykkuno
making
was
a Google
interested in her to
Doc.
begin
It's
with.
a little
She
weird.
also had no idea that Sykkuno had a girlfriend and would meet up with him during December 2025 in Paris when he would travel for a convention. Unlike Mal, though, she would actually end up sleeping with Sykkuno, again, completely oblivious that he has a
Completely
girlfriend. They would
obliviated.
both share their stories and the DMs with Sykkuno in the Google document. Here's how it would start off. On Valentine's Day of this year, I was followed on Twitter by Sykkuno. I thought it was amazing that such a big content creator even knew I existed, let alone followed me on social media. He had been my
Oh my
role model
God.
and someone I looked up to for a long time, ever since my days in high school. However, what I learned about Sykkuno after that day would make me regret my decision. Sykkuno is not the kind, soft-spoken character you see on stream.
He's
He
a
is
total
serial
freak.
liar, and manipulator who uses his status
Murderer.
to get what he wants from as many women as possible. More specifically, ones who are smaller or up-and-coming content creators, knowing that he can take advantage of them. After
Okay,
confiding in many
source,
others
please.
that have had similar
I hope she
experiences with
does.
Sykkuno, I realized
actually
this was
bring
not
any
an isolated incident. In fact,
proof
it was
up.
something that had been going on for multiple years. He always made sure to cover his tracks and never left a paper trail significant enough for someone to make this public. You will find evidence that will expose his calculated pattern of love bombing and manipulation, as well as a recording of a voice call where he explicitly admits to all his wrongdoings, everything. Alright, so already this is one.
I'm
hell of a
interested in the
intro to
voice
document,
call.
right? Anyway, the next section of the document would be titled Our First Conversation. After Valentine's Day, I was so excited about him following me that I told a friend who then urged me to strike up a conversation. I finally worked up the courage to send him a DM and he replied right away. So here we can see on the 15th of February, Mal would send, "Are you still looking for a Valentine's date perhaps?" To which Sykkuno would say, so innocently, "What? You can't just open up with something like that? And besides, Valentine's Day's almost over where I'm from already." To which she would reply with, "I mean, we can always do a Valentine's Day do-over, you know?" In the same first conversation, he brought up what kind of games he liked to play.
she's
and
coming
invited
on
me to play
hard.
with him after a convention. On the left image, we can see them discussing sleep schedules, right? Understanding what.
Wait, so she messaged them, right? And she came on really hard.
In the same first conversation, he brought up what kind of games he liked to play and invited me to play with him after a convention. On the
League of
left image, we
Legends,
can see them
Valorant,
discussing
fucking
sleep
freak,
schedules,
probably.
right? Yeah, these DMs have the timestamp of 10 a.m. EU time. The last DMs we can see on Twitter were at 9 a.m., so this is barely an hour later after they added each other. Mal would continue by saying, "Things started out innocently enough with him inquiring about fun things to do near where I live, such as aquariums and conventions, TwitchCon EU specifically. I'd like to point out that I said we could go on a date to make up for Valentine's. He not once expressed to me any discomfort or that he wasn't single." So yeah, this is how it goes. If someone expresses
he is a
interest in
cheater,
you, right,
clearly.
you typically tell them fairly quickly that
I'll
you're
give her
already
that
in a
much.
committed
It's
relationship.
like,
You don't
yeah,
just
that's-
let things
seems
slide.
pretty clear.
Mal had no reason to think that Sykkuno was already taken. Going to the aquarium would be our first date. I also learned that there is a 15-year age gap between us. Right, so look, I personally spoke to the victim about this. I asked, like, would that usually have been like a red flag or a turnoff? She said yes. But the thing is, this is Sykkuno we're talking about here.
Oh
right?
yeah,
So
as
she
if
made an
women
exception,
weren't into
because as you
older
saw in
men.
the
Yeah,
intro
dude.
of this document, she used to watch him in high school. She
I call
genuinely
cop
looked up
for,
to
on
him.
this one.
To say that she was starstruck was an understatement, and that's exactly what he was counting on.
I'm calling cop
Now,
on
while
this one,
keeping
not
that
gonna lie.
15-year age gap in mind, this next section definitely hits different. It's titled "Making Plans to Move In Together." These messages would be on the 17th of February, 2 days after they started talking. It would say, "With Sykkuno, our relationship moved so incredibly fast it almost felt like a dream. It was like you could make anything I wanted happen, and as someone as prolific and successful as him, I had no reason to doubt anything he said to me." These screenshots
I
show
feel
that
like she's
Sykkuno
making
and I were
herself
intending to
look a
adopt
little
cat and have
more
possibly
naive
moved
than
into
she
his
actually
house.
was.
I told him we couldn't get
Not
a
to
cat yet
excuse
because he
his
did not need a
behavior,
US
really,
citizen
'cause
and possibly having
he seems
viewers.
like
Keep
Sykkuno
in
guy.
mind, this conversation happened
Hold on
2
a
days
second,
after the
fucking-
first conversation.
I think she's making herself look a little more naive than she actually is. Not to excuse the Sykkuno freak's behavior, because he seems like an actual freak. Like this whole like innocent 35-year-old virgin fucking anime boy act is just it's so bizarre, so cringe. But it works, hey, I guess. But he clearly is like a player, you know what I mean? Clearly is pretty freaky, but she is making herself seem far more unexperienced and like naive than she is. I just that's the feeling I'm getting. Still, I mean, why even bring? I just don't really understand why they would bring all this shit up into the public, other than attention. Like this shit. This is like, what's the reason for making this public? I think she just did this for attention, for as far as I can tell right now, at least. Unless something crazy gets brought up after. But I mean, just cheating, is that really like worth to make like a whole expose on this guy? Like, I don't know.
Mal would say, I mean, you've been in relationships before. It's not like it's your first relationship, referencing what they might potentially have going on. To which he'd reply with, I don't know, lol. I've only like actually dated someone once and they broke up with me, so yeah, I think I'm
Shut
just not
the
very
fuck
good, so
up.
It's probably just a me issue. To which he'd say, did you like
This is so cringe on the bait. I don't know. LOL. I've only like I think he misspells things on purpose because he thinks it's like cute and shit. I've only like actual dated someone once and they broke up with me. So, yeah, I think I'm just not very good. So it's probably just a me issue. Did you like never do anything for your ex like at all? I mean, I think I did. And I think she... Wait, hold on. That's not how he speaks. He speaks like... I mean... I don't think... I mean, I think I did. I don't think she thought I did. So, yeah. But I mean, everyone has their own way of what they want. So, it's important to be like, are you getting what you want? And if you're not, I totally understand. Okay, this is so cringe, bro. You're 35. Come on. You're not that much of a fucking loser. Come on, bro. Come on.
One thing I'd noticed is that every time we called and when he spoke, he'd be whispering and never fully use his voice. His excuse was that it's because he was tired after a long stream, and I didn't really find that to be suspicious. Using your voice for 8 hours in a row does exhaust it after all. I now realize that he was quiet because his girlfriend lived with him and he didn't want her to hear.
Wait, hold on,
this first
what?
set of DMs, we can see them discussing things to watch together. Sykkuno saying, let's watch something. Mal would say we should.
You telling me... You telling me this fella was living with his girlfriend and having like secret voice calls on Discord with like random e-girls and was like whispering to them so he doesn't alert his girlfriend like his fucking Solid Snake, Metal Gear Solid. The fuck? Sneaky motherfucker.
Should, he would say, let's watch a cooked Netflix dating show because those are funny, or both. And Mal would say we should. And do you also want to play games like Helldivers or Overwatch or etc.? In the next image, we can see them discussing the spicy audio that she sent him at some point. He'd say, you do too. She would say, yeah, like in that
spicy audio. Hold up. Moaning, whimpering audio. Wait. The audio recording I sent you. What is the audio recording? Huh? Oh my god. Well, no. Why do I say it like this? No, he speaks like, huh? Oh my god. Well, yes, you sounded really cute in that too. Did you ever re-listen to it or only that once? Thank you. Less than 3-3. No. Yeah, less than 3-3. I tried my best to sound good for you. Wait, why'd you send me 81 bucks? Oh. Imagine if you just sent the fucking burping audio to her in return. Oh, you said you wanted the new Resident Evil game. Well, I mean specifically 81, I don't know. It just translates to 100 USD, lol. Well, work something out then. I can spot you. You know, gym dates are also cute. Are those even dates? It's gone be like... He is misspelling things on purpose. He actually is misspelling things on purpose. Because he thinks it's like cute and shit. He actually is misspelling things on purpose because he thinks it's cute. It's gonna be like sweaty and... not gonna lie. Some people I know are like... I spend 2 hours in the gym every day and I'm like... I think I'd be tired before 2 hours. Space dot. LOL! I think I'd be tired and like 15 minutes max. Space dot. I spent 2 to 3 hours at the gym. Bro, actually, people that spend 2 to 3 hours at the gym, how do you have the time? Like daily? 2 to 3 hours daily on the gym. Jesus, how the fuck do you have the time? And then the commute on the way there, that's like a part-time job. How do you have so much time, unironically?
In the next two set of DMs, we can see them talking about more spicy topics. Mal would say, you get flustered so easily. And then Sykkuno would say, because I'm not. I've never done like this kind of thing before, lol. To which she would say, and? You don't like it? He'd continue saying, which is crazy because I'm older than you, but like I haven't really dated much, so... And then Mal would say, so? You have me now. He'd reply with, My XP bar is low, but no, I do it. I've never gotten something like this before. Yes, I like it.
He
It's
says
so
he
good.
he
I can't
hasn't
wait to
dated much,
use
but
it
I think he
later.
did.
As in, I can't wait to grill
He's
my
playing
sausage
her
to it later,
a little
whatever
bit.
she sent. To which she would reply with, you know, I've kind of wondered if you've ever touched yourself while watching what I send you. To which he'd say, what? Why would you wonder that? She'd say, well, because they're spicy pictures and videos. Of course, I wonder if you put them to use. And then he'd say, I'll definitely put this one to use. She'd say, so you've never done so before? And then he would say, maybe in all caps with a flustered sweating emoji. This is when she'd put her foot down and say, I want a yes or no. And then he would say, yes, of course
She put her
I
foot
have.
down.
How could I not? Overall, these DMs were a balance of spicy and wholesome, just like what you'd expect when two people are romantically interested in each other, saying goodnight to each other, inquiring on their health.
I mean, that's some
She'd
kind of
compliment
game,
her
I
on her
guess.
Appearance. She'd say, I love getting compliments from you. Good morning, handsome. What are you up to? But this romantic interest wouldn't just be expressed with words. No, for Sykkuno, he'd make sure to express it financially, too. This is what would lead us to the next section, titled Sugar Daddy.
I want to
Less
be
than
a
month later,
woman, bro.
Sykkuno
I want so
randomly
much.
asked for
I
my
want the
PayPal
money.
account in
I want
DMs.
all
He'd
that
then
money,
waste
bro.
no time in sending me money unprompted, something that I'd later realize was simply a behavioral pattern that he'd employ with women he'd express interest in. I want to reiterate that I have never asked him for his money, and he did this of his own volition. He bought me both a gym jacket, linked below, and Resident Evil 9, because I had expressed interest in that game. Here we can see two payments. The first one sent on the 28th of February 2026, 81
I want
euros.
all that
The second one being
money.
200 euros on the 5th of March
so
2026.
fucking broke.
The sender was the business, Sykkuno. He'd innocently ask for a PayPal username on the 28th of February. He'd start off the conversation with, you still aren't asleep either? To which she'd say, I fell asleep, woke up again because I'm having trouble sleeping. He would then say, oh, well, good morning. And what's your PayPal so I can buy you games later? She'd say, huh? Straight to the point. Jesus, I need to update my email to my PayPal because it's my old name from before I rebranded. When he would send her money for a gym jacket, at some point she'd say, want me to send it back? To which he'd say, no, I wanted you to get a nice gym vest, lol. Especially because it seems like
Lol.
you're really passionate about working out, so I thought it'd be nice. And then you can remember me when you're wearing
I need
it.
another
I thought
shot.
It was a cute
Come on.
idea. She'd buy one, she'd wear it, she'd send it to him, and she'd say, I wore it with the green set because I know how much you like green. She'd also make a tweet on her account while wearing it, saying, this gym jacket is literally so comfy, the muscle mommy arc will be real. So up until this point, this was Mal's experience with Sykkuno. The next section is titled A Calculated Pattern of Love Bombing and Manipulation. And this is where we talk about Elphilia's side of the story. The document would say, after speaking to Elphilia a few days ago, we were able to corroborate our experiences with Sykkuno and learned that we were both victims of this. We had no idea that he was talking to both of us at the same time. Sykkuno is known to send hundreds of dollars to the girls he wants to get involved with. This screenshot is from when he took my friend Elphilia to Paris during the 2025 TFT tournament, along with sending her 500 euros to help her
Team
move into her new
Fortress
apartment.
tournament?
You can clearly see that this was sent from his business email's PayPal account. So unlike the other image that was supplied by Mal, here we can clearly see this is Sykkuno at hotmail.com sending her all this money. A substantial amount, around 1,550 euros, all under his business email. Here are the DMs in which we can see that he offered to pay for her flight to TFT Paris as well as
Why
all
does
the
bro
food and
use
hotel fees there,
Hotmail?
pretty much taking care of her financially during the entire trip. So this starts off as far back as April 2025, with Sykkuno telling Elphilia, I'm probably going to Paris later this year for sure. I'm not sure on TwitchCon yet. I'm afraid I don't know enough people. He'd say, you should come to Paris when I go to it. Is it close? To which she'd say, Paris is pretty easy to go to, yeah, since it's in the European Union. He'd say, you better hang out then when I go there. She'd reply with, I'll have to see because I know nothing and no one there and it's expensive. To which he would say, I'll pay for it. Don't worry. She'd say, whoa, really?
God.
You do that? And then he'd say, yeah, of course. And all the food. She'd of course be ecstatic about this and say, you'd have to deal with my annoying ass though. And he would say, but you gotta choose places to eat, like the restaurants. And she'd say, deal. One day later, he'd
Missed opportunity for Riz.
the food. She'd of course be ecstatic
You'd have to deal with my annoying ass though. He should have said, your ass is definitely not annoying. Your ass, many things. Annoying though? No.
about this and say, you'd have to deal with my annoying ass though. And he would say, but you gotta choose places to eat, like the restaurants. And she'd say, deal. One day later, he'd reiterate, you're fine, you never have to pay for anything, don't worry, lol. How much is the flight usually from Netherlands to Paris and back? Because she lived in the Netherlands at the time. I think I'm going for like a TFT tournament or something like that. On the 10th of December 2025, we can see her saying,
A
I'm boarding
flight?
now, see you
Why not
soon,
just
to
take a
which he would reply
train?
with, see you soon, you have the hotel info, right? Since they were going to share a room. This brings us to the next section titled Elphilia's Experience. Elphilia would talk to Sykkuno on and off for the span of 5 years. During that time, she had absolutely no idea that he had a girlfriend in the 5 years that she had known him.
5
and on
years?
and off flirted with him. Anytime she would bring up the topic of his love life, he would give the response of playing too many games. And not
This
going
has
out
gone
enough
on
to meet
for
women
5
to
years.
date. So bear in mind, she knew him since like 2021, back when he was like the most desired man on the entirety of Twitch or the streaming space. And even with all that flirting, he never once mentioned the relationship he's been in since 2021. So this was in the beginning of his relationship as well. So in this next set of DMs, we can see Elphilia saying, also, I have a question for you. Why are you single? Like, how? To which he'd say, huh? That's a crazy question, lol. I think it's a combination of like playing too many games. To which he'd say, why crazy? Why is it a crazy question? The guy was desired by anyone.
He's
even
literally
after his
me.
viewership had fallen
Why
down
can't
a little
I
bit, you
get
could still DM
10,000
anyone
women
and get
watching
them to
me?
date him. It didn't make sense. The document
I
would
wouldn't
say,
date
"Same
any of them,
calculated
bro."
behavior and patterns, using his
'Cause
nerdy
fuck
gamer
that.
boy facade to lure women into a false narrative. In this next set of DMs, Elphilia would be saying, you're cute. You're this sweet to all girls, or am I just lucky? To which he'd say, wah, lol, only to the ones I think are cool. So as we can see, Elphilia is just starstruck. She can't believe this. She feels so lucky that Sykkuno, the guy who's desired by everyone, is giving her attention out of anyone else in the world. This is the effect he had on people, and he knew this. And just like with Mal, he would follow her personal Instagram with his official Sykkuno Instagram page. It's genuinely like a deja vu to what he did with Mal. Like, it's the same patterns. The guy had a playbook, and he knew how to put it to use. The document would continue. Here is proof that Sykkuno was in Paris for the TFT event around this time too, directly from his Twitter. So here you can see this was posted around the 13th of December 2025 when he was in Paris. In this first tweet on the left, we can see him taking an image of Lily Pichu, who was also there, as well as him retweeting one of TFT's tweets saying, ultimate bragging rights have been secured at the TFT Paris Open. This is them announcing that Sykkuno's team had won, confirming that he was indeed there. The next page of the document would show us a set of DMs between Sykkuno and Elphilia. The date would be the 3rd of March, 2026. So this would be 3 months after they had met up and hooked up. And this would be as he was talking with Mal. He'd say, oh my god, I was playing World of Warcraft, I saw this player, it reminded me of you. That's because that player had a similar looking name. She'd say, oh, you got reminded of me? That's cute. To which he'd say, of course. Oh, I was gonna ask, were you planning on going to like Offkai or anything like that? That's a VTuber Expo, right? To which she would say, I wish, but unfortunately I can't. My rent is now 800 euros per month and I'm living fully off of my savings.
Okay, wait,
so
hold
I
on,
cancel
hold on,
all
hold
my
on, hold
travels
on.
for the year.
Hold
The
on.
document would say,
Hold on. Okay. They live in different countries, right? Not to shit on her too much, because I think he was leading her on a little bit, at least up until now. It looks like he's playing her. But they live in different countries. How did she think this is what's gonna work out? They're gonna be taking fucking planes every weekend to meet each other? Come on. A little silly. A little bit silly.
More salt to the wound. After Elphilia's Paris trip, and 2 weeks after he had started talking to me, saying things like how he wants to move in with me and such, he would message Elphilia asking her if she'll be at Offkai. This is proof that he'd be talking to more than one woman at the same time, planning a hookup for every event he went to. He was doing this while giving me the impression that he wanted something long-term, and all while also having a girlfriend since 2021. Elphilia and I weren't friends until I found out that he was cheating on his girlfriend. This is when we both got in contact with each other and shared our stories. She deserves the world. The section would end with both Sykkuno and Elphilia talking about random topics, and then at the end of this DM chain, we can see Sykkuno saying, how was your day? To which she would reply with, awful. Spent the whole day crying. Crying right now.
What
Why
the
do some
fuck?
men cheat? I'll never understand.
Why
The
do they
document points out
cheat?
that this
Why
is
do they
ironic,
cheat, am I
saying
right?
that Sykkuno
Sykkuno?
is a cheater himself. So as you can see, when these two women spoke to each other and shared their stories, they were shocked. Shocked to know that they were being used so casually, and shocked to know that this man was in a relationship. But how is it that he did this for years with no consequences? How is it that there are many Elphilias and Mals out there with no one saying a thing? Well, they kind of did, which is what the next section is all about. It's titled Rumors and Broken Friendships. As I mentioned in the intro, no one made a public statement before because they never had sufficient evidence. Sykkuno would always talk about the most explicit and sensitive topics in voice calls or in person, never leaving a paper trail. This was all intentional. Rumors still managed to spread, Many content
How do you know
creators,
he's
both big and
intentional?
small, would
Okay.
vent to their friends about
Well,
his behavior. Behind
I
the
guess
scenes
it-
for many,
if he
he
always
was a
did it, then
predator
it's
who
probably
regularly
intentional.
took advantage of smaller and or vulnerable content creators.
Oh, I gotta kill
The reason why
these fucking
Sykkuno
guys
would
quick.
abruptly stop hanging out with certain people throughout the years is because of this predatory behavior. However, he'd managed to keep enough influential friends around him to legitimize his position in the space, especially seeing that many of those friends were women who would have normally stood in solidarity with any sort of victim, making it seem like he was safe enough to trust because they trusted him enough to be a friend. As Elphilia spoke with Sykkuno, she'd tell him about rumors that she had heard from someone else, about how Sykkuno had a roster of readily available women, and how they all coincidentally were smaller content creators who wouldn't dare touch him if something went wrong. Elphilia, of course, didn't believe this. After all, Sykkuno had a calculated pattern that worked perfectly in his favor. His innocent, naive demeanor wouldn't dare hurt a fly, so why would he hurt me? So here we can see DMs between Elphilia and Sykkuno. She would start this off with saying, I don't know, he said he dislikes you, referencing a friend of hers, and that you only go for girls that are small so you can manipulate them with your shy persona. Yet he is doing that to my friend right now.
A fucking
To which Sykkuno would say,
shyster.
oh yeah, I mean, I don't think that's true, but I guess people will say stuff randomly. I'm confused as to these people
Lol,
who think
very
I'm going
random.
for them. I haven't really done that. But anyway, I'm sure it'll be fine. I mean, like I said before, people who know me will know me, and I guess he just dislikes me, which is totally fine. She'd say, exactly. He did say the only reason you haven't gotten called out is because you go after small creators and they'll never expose you. If you ever need proof of anything, I have receipts, just in case he tries anything funny. Sykkuno would say, oh, I feel like the way VTubers are, they would love to try and expose bigger streamers. They love drama. Lol.
this guy
It's
with the
not true,
pistol
so I
is
think
killing
it's
me.
fine. I don't need receipts or anything. It's fine. But I thought he was chill. I'm kind of sad he was so angry. Elphilia would say, I know, just making sure you stay safe no matter what, love. Sykkuno would continue saying,
Love.
I mean, why is he bringing up so much anyway, though? To
Stop
which she'd
trying
say,
to be
"He's jealous
British,
of
you're
you.
Dutch,
I'm just
don't be
playing league
British,
with him,
please."
And he brought you up out of the blue. To which he'd say, I don't
You're
think
too
there's
hot
much
to be
jealous
British.
of, lol. But hopefully he feels better soon. And Elphilia ends this by saying, he said you hurt 5 of his friends, apparently. So this was on
5?
the 22nd of December after they had met IRL, and Elphilia had no reason to doubt him, right? She still had no idea that he had a girlfriend since 2021. This is why she was still so readily siding with him. And speaking of cheating, this is what would lead us to the section, Sykkuno's girlfriend. The coincidence that would lead me to finding out the truth about Sykkuno happened last week. A
Oh my God,
popular
I'm
male
dying.
VTuber tried to slide into my DMs to presumably get in my pants, and when I rejected him, he immediately started to mention nasty rumors about Bao. Out of concern for her, I reached out to Ahmad, who then connected me with Bao. The 3 of us struck up a conversation when I mentioned I was nervous about a date I was going on. They asked me who it was. When I said my date was with Sykkuno, they immediately told me not to go on the date for my own personal safety. Bao told me that at the end of March, Sykkuno's girlfriend reached out to her
Safety,
regarding a
come on.
controversial tweet Bao made
He's
last
not a
year in
rapist.
2025.
He's just a
She asked Bao if it
fuckboy.
was true that the tweet was about Sykkuno. So this tweet in question, right?
Okay, the safety thing is an exaggeration. He's clearly a fuckboy, a cheater. But come on, he's not like a rapist. Like, be fucking for real.
If you were on Twitter back in October 2025, you would have probably seen it. It went absolutely viral, and it simply just said, if you're an up-and-coming female content creator with a small but growing audience and a much larger and successful male content creator approaches you out of nowhere and showers you with attention on stream, in DMs, etc., don't walk, run. To 99% of people, this was
Run.
Bao giving smaller content creators very well-needed advice.
Please, somebody-
In reality, though,
A
this was
bigger
subtweet
female content creator should
directly
message me and take
referencing
advantage of me. I want
Sykkuno's
views.
behavior. Because the document would continue, they called, as in Bao and Sykkuno's girlfriend, and Bao explained to her that other women had confided in her about similar experiences with him. She described a pattern of behavior where he targeted small female content creators and pressured them into having sex with him. Bao then offered to connect her with these other victims so they could share their experiences with her directly, as she felt it was important to hear them firsthand. This was all discussed during a Discord call. And so here we can see a DM sent by Sykkuno's girlfriend on March 24, 2026 to Bao saying, "Hey Bao, I'm sorry to bother you with this, but I heard something recently that was a bit concerning and I thought I would just come ask you about it. I heard that there was possibly an instance of Sykkuno trying to get VTuber girls up to his hotel room to drink with them, and that the tweet you made about
Drink
being
with
cautious
them?
of
Oh,
large
no.
male streamers showering you with gifts and attention was about him in regards to him doing it to one of your friends?" You know, before we get back to the document, this actually reminds me of this one tweet that was posted on Twitter back in October 21st, 2025 during TwitchCon North America, where an innocent fan came across Sykkuno in the lobby of a hotel at 2 a.m. One can only wonder what he was doing there, but as you can see, rumors are very easy to spread once you spot someone in a hotel.
What was he doing in a hotel? What if Maybe he was sleeping. How about maybe the fella was sleeping? How about that? How about that? Come on. I don't like this fucking Sykkuno guy. He's a freak. But be real. What, somebody spotted him in a hotel lobby at 2 a.m.? So the fuck what? You could be just doing whatever. You could be doing anything. Well, just because somebody spotted him in a hotel at a late hour, that means he was like, what? Doing what? Shut the fuck up, bro. Fucking weeb.
A lobby at 2 a.m. The document would continue. Bao told me that 3 days before I contacted her and her mod, Sykkuno and his girlfriend were trying to reconcile after Sykkuno somehow managed to convince her that it was all a huge misunderstanding. She had no clue that I, as well as many other girls, still existed in Sykkuno's romantic and sexual life. Bao and her mod would put me in a group chat with Sykkuno's girlfriend where I would share all the screenshots you see above. She was rightfully horrified and left the group chat because she couldn't stomach reading them. This is where we can see DMs in the group chat from Sykkuno's girlfriend saying, I have lived with him for over 2 years. We have been together since 2021. And on top of that, everything he's planning with you are things we have planned together and talk about and have done. I'm sorry. At this point, I wouldn't be able to imagine what I would feel if I was in Mal's shoes or anyone else's shoes that Sykkuno had taken advantage of. In fact, I can't imagine being his girlfriend, hearing these rumors about someone I lived with in the same home and finding out about it this way, even after he managed to convince me that him sleeping with someone back in December 2025 was a misunderstanding. It's horrifying. This would all lead us to the final section of this document, titled To All of Sykkuno's Victims. Ever since Sykkuno's viral breakout during the pandemic lockdowns of 2020 when he played Among Us, he has always carefully curated every aspect of his behavior on stream and with friends. An innocent, romantically inexperienced boy failure who looks like an anime character and sounds like one too. This perfectly curated image would attract a large audience of women, with a lot of them openly professing how attracted they are to him. He soaked in the praise and never sought to limit the most
Please, Sykkuno, fuck me,
because it made him more
please.
desirable. He understood this and would use this curated image, as well as his legitimacy in the content creation space thanks to his followers and famous friends, to seek out any attractive cosplayers and or content creators that were small enough to be starstruck by his grand presence. It would work most of the time, as he'd use the same calculated pattern that he used with me and Elphilia to lure them in, and eventually fly them out to the next convention or event that he went to with the goal of hooking up. What these many women didn't know, though, is that he'd always lie about the fact that he's single. That behind the scenes, he had a neglected and depressed girlfriend that he'd been with since 2021 and who has lived with him since 2024 in the same house. I implore the many other victims to come out about their experiences with this predator. And I end this document.
Okay, but victims of what? He just cheated. Come on. Don't be a...
cheated on his girlfriend with my friend.
Do you really have to exaggerate things so much?
For context, this was shortly after I had messaged his girlfriend about his cheating. 30 minutes later, he would ask if I was free for a call. As his girlfriend was crying downstairs, he somehow chose to prioritize someone that he barely met 2 months ago. She's referring to herself. I pointed this out during the call. Here's the link. So the link isn't here right now, but obviously it will be by the time.
Wait, is this the
video comes
call?
out. It's okay though, because I have the video. And if you're wondering why you should watch it here, well, it's because Sykkuno's voice is so damn low. I mean, the guy was whispering as if someone was after him with a gun that you could barely tell what he's saying. I actually bothered to add subtitles. This whole recording is 17 minutes long, and as the document stated, he pretty much admits to everything. Watch.
Okay, this is the most interesting part.
Hello.
Hello.
Thomas?
Hello.
So?
Well, pretty much know most of it.
Yeah? Like what?
Know what?
No, you can tell me.
I was very honest.
Oh.
About
Okay, I gotta actually look in and listen
you
to
have
this.
to speak up a little bit, your mic's cutting out.
Why you're so quiet, boy? Speak up, motherfucker.
to tell you how it happened.
I'm just...
You're
I'm
so
just such a soft
You're still
boy.
cutting out a lot.
I'm such a soft 35-year-old
You know, I
boy.
talk quietly.
Yeah, but you never talk this quietly.
I'm sad.
I'm so sad.
It's the actions of your... the
I'm so
consequences of your actions, I
sad.
suppose.
I know.
Mm,
So basically, I was in a very happy relationship.
doesn't sound like it, but sure.
I'm scared of this woman. She sounds
continue.
Machiavellian.
Happy relationship. relationship a long time ago.
Long time ago. What, like
And then-
2021?
I don't know the exact time, honestly. but
Ouch. Fuck.
a long time ago. Then it got a lot less happy.
How so?
I don't fully know. She just stopped hanging out with me that much, and
Because you're a
Okay,
sod
that's usually-
chod.
yeah, I mean,
You're gonna have to speak up. I can't hear a single sentence that comes out of your mouth. You there?
He's
yes,
fucking
yes, I'm
dead.
here.
I'm
Okay,
here.
just asking because you were.
I'm just so
Went
upset.
quiet.
I'm so lonely.
I was very, very happy,
Mm-hmm.
and at some point, it wasn't so happy.
Shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he
I
such
don't
a
know exactly
child?
when,
He
but
sounds.
we stopped spending time
He's
together,
making himself sound like such a child, but he's like
Yeah.
pushing 40.
done it together for years.
Or what? I couldn't hear that part.
I said we hadn't done anything together for like years,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just very sad and alone. Didn't feel wanted at all.
Mm-hmm. So you slept with Elfie in Paris.
Now we finally know he
Yeah.
was in Paris.
And then you flirted with me. And were telling me how you wanted me to come visit you in Vegas, and how you wanted to go on a date, and how you were serious about me, and how you really meant it, and how you wanted to go get a cat together.
Okay, so you
Um,
got played, but like, come
yes.
on.
Yeah.
What's the reason for all this expose?
Why? Why didn't you just break off the relationship then?
Because it was a combination of remembering how it was, some part of me hoping it would go back to that, and
Well, obviously it's not going to go back to that if you're actively cheating on her. It's only going to get worse. I think that's really on you, bud. And I know you're
Yeah.
smarter than that.
I mean,
She's such a
I
smart ass.
mean, for fuck's sake, you're a
She knows she's recording this. She's like just dunking on him because she knows he's recording.
34-year-old man. Yes, you are. Stop acting like you're a child.
True.
don't think that's what I'm acting like, but
I mean, you say you're not smarter than that, but you are. You're a 34-year-old man. You just chose to do it. You knew damn well in the back of your head that it wasn't going to end up well.
yeah. But it's complicated.
It's really not.
So-
Cheating is just bad. She hasn't done anything to ask for it to be cheated on. It's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, but she relied
Cheating
on it
is
to take
bad.
care of a lot of things, and I still cared about her.
Okay, that doesn't mean that you do that because you wanted to, not because she was like holding it against you or forcing you to.
No.
Exactly. So there's still no excuse for you to cheat on her.
Not saying there was one. Just explaining why it happened.
The only reason why it happened is because you just chose to do it.
Oh, so true.
I don't know
She's-
why you
she's
decided
being
to
a
lie to me, 'cause
smart ass
you know
right now.
damn fucking well that lying especially is like a big thing I do not tolerate.
Oh no shit! You don't like lying? Me myself,
Yeah.
personally, I love when people lie to me. Please, just lie to me. I
And
don't want to hear
I
the
was
truth.
fine about the Alfie thing because I was like, okay, he didn't know me before that, right? But then I find out you've had a girlfriend this entire time. Do you realize how fucked up that is?
That's pretty fucked up.
Because not
gonna
only
lie.
were you, because sure, you didn't lead Alfie on. Alfie acknowledges that you didn't lead her on, right? Because I've talked to Alfie. I'm friends with her. I've been friends with her before I even met you.
Okay.
Like, she acknowledges that you didn't lead her on. You led me on, though. You did lead me on, though.
Yeah.
You
Well-
gave me all these fancy ass promises about, oh, we're gonna go on a date when you can visit here. What? So you could cheat on your girlfriend again? So you could sleep with me so you could cheat on your girlfriend again?
That wasn't.
L.
What were you
what I
intending with that?
wanted. Well,
Well, I just wanted to
I thought
fuck.
it was going to be over.
But
Is
what?
she eating right now?
Like I thought that was gonna be the end of that.
The end of what?
My previous relationship.
You were gonna break up with so you could date me, or what?
Well, like I said, it'd been a long time where like we hadn't spent time together. Hadn't done anything in years.
Mm-hmm.
And in my head, I thought that was at some point be over.
What? I couldn't hear you.
I said, I thought that meant that was going to be like the end of it.
So you were already moving on before you even broke up with her? Were you intending to break up with her, or were you just waiting for her to break up with you?
Pussy.
I don't know. It was
So-
just a really weird
I just
mix of like,
want to understand this. So what was your intention with me? Like where was I in this whole thing? Like were you
Sex,
intending to
can't
date
you
me
tell?
after her? Like were you intending to just ditch to go date me?
No. No.
I mean, I guess for me, it felt like it was already,
He really does speak like that. He's like,
Oh.
oh,
But that's not what I
I'm
asked. I'm
such
talking about
an
me.
anime guy. Why so?
I mean, yeah,
Why
that's
so serious?
kind of what I was thinking.
You were thinking to just ditch her and then date me. What, were you gonna do the same thing to me?
Yes.
I'm sorry, but like you're not really selling this whole relationship thing really well. If this is the type of relationship you uphold.
It's fine. I'm not trying to sell it.
I can tell.
Just trying to explain to you what's going on.
Yeah. The thing is, if I never reached out to Bao, because I didn't even reach out to Bao about you, right? I reached out to Bao about because he's lied behind my back to a bunch of people, and I was not okay with that. And then started lying about Bao. That's when I reached out to Bao. I became friends with her roommate, and then I was talking with a little bit back and forth, and then you came up in a topic, and then she told me you had a girlfriend, and that your girlfriend has been venting to Bao this entire time about how you gaslight her into staying. You make her feel bad anytime that she like wanted to leave because you cheated on her, and she knew that you cheated on her. She just didn't know who. Because you never told her that it was Elfie, you just told her that you cheated on her in Paris. I think. I don't know if you told her, but I knew she knew.
He was in Paris. Finally, we know.
Yeah, I did tell him.
Why? Why go through all this trouble?
Because didn't know how to
Because I'm a chud. I'm just an anime chud.
I mean, for God's sake, if the only thing why you even stayed with her is because she relied on me for a lot of things, you can afford to take care of her for a little bit before she gets back onto her feet. Like, at least don't put her through the trouble of like telling her like, oh, like I'm still gonna be with you, like telling her that you're still her boyfriend, while actively cheating on her every single day.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I should have just said how I felt.
Like you could have just deadass. If the only thing that you were concerned about is the fact that she relied on you for things, you could have just supported her until she got back onto her feet, so she could support herself.
Yeah, you fucking loser. Am I right?
You know?
And it wasn't just that.
Then what else?
Oh, he's so fucking boring. Why does he speak like that?
Somehow hoping it would go back to how it used to be.
Well, I also already told you, cheating is not going to make it go back to how it used to be.
It's a lot easier to say that when you're innocent.
It's the truth. It's the harsh truth. Nothing is going to go back the same way that it was if you're going to cheat on someone actively.
Actively.
Well, that's why I'm going to change.
You're going to change what?
That's it. Everything.
What do you mean that's it?
Just gonna change that.
You're going to stay with
You're
her?
right.
Because honest to God, I feel like the poor girl's been through enough. I don't think you should have to sit there and keep doing this to her. Because I was in a group chat with her while you were on stream. And this girl's absolutely f***ing distraught because of the shit that you've done to her. The shit that you've put her through. Like, genuinely. Do you know how much that fucks someone up? Like, you already cheated on her once, and she decided to trust you still. She decided to stay with you, despite the fact that you already had cheated on her and admitted to it. And what do? You go onto Twitter and go find the next girl to flirt with. Like, if anything, honest to God, I'm not even mad at this point. I'm just disappointed.
I'm just
really
disappointed in you.
Yep, that's fair.
They always say that, huh?
Because she's been crying to Bao about it. Bao's been sitting there, like, comforting this girl, trying to tell her, hey, maybe you should leave him. Because this isn't okay. This really isn't okay. You're putting this girl through mental strain. Every single day. That you continue to be with her. While you're sitting there having fun playing with your friends. Be so honest right now, Thomas.
Thomas the Tank Engine. Thomas the Rape Engine, am I right?
So you think,
This is a little dramatic, bro. A little dramatic.
and you might be right.
Yeah. Like, if it is money that she doesn't have, or if it's a job, or if it's family, or
I
blah blah
already
blah
gave
blah.
her a lot.
Yeah, well, there, exactly. Just help her back on her feet until she can support herself, and then just leave the girl alone. Because she deserves better than that. Because you cannot sit there and be like, I love her, but do all of this shit to her, and continue to let her stay in that situation.
Well, one part of that wasn't true.
What?
I think the feelings faded.
Well, then you should just let her go. Instead of just sitting her there, wasting her time.
Okay, well, anyway.
And also, why'd you get on a call with me when right now she's upset? I know she lives with you.
I already talked to her.
Yeah, you should be
And I
there
told
to.
her I'm going to talk to you first.
You should be there to comfort her. She's the one that you cheated on.
Fuck.
No, I'm going to be doing that. I just wanted to settle this first.
This is not settled. I'm beyond upset with you. Like,
Beyond
genuinely
mad.
beyond upset with you.
I mean, that's fine. By settled, I mean, like, that's it. Like,
What's it?
probably never talking again.
You and me?
Yes.
What? Why?
Is that not why?
What is why? I'm still upset with you, but you didn't cheat on me.
Oh.
You can still
Right.
talk to me and be like, make up for your actions. Don't get me wrong, because I always am there for second chances.
Oh,
never
I
will forgive you for cheating
see.
on me.
I see.
That-
Oh,
that's-
yeah. Oh. Bro, she's far less. Oh, fuck. Motherfucker. She's far less naive than she's making it out to be. She's got it wrapped around her fucking finger, bro.
That's that. There are a lot of girls that are upset with you, by the way, because Alfie's not the only one that has hit me up.
Yeah, that sounds like you've heard things.
Yeah, and you lied to me a lot about that too.
Um,
A lot. Because, how big was the roster again?
I don't think I ever had one of those.
I mean, maybe not at the same time, but you sure do hop around.
Suppose so.
Yeah. All I care about right now is that he's okay. Keep me updated on that.
I don't know if that's a possibility.
You can keep me updated on how she's doing. You can keep me updated on when she moves out, because I don't think she should be living with you anymore.
Because I'm gonna be living with you.
I don't think you need me to do that.
I mean, yeah, I care about her. Like,
Yeah, she can do that.
True. I'll just reach out to her then. But, yeah, no, just... Like... You go talk to her. She needs you right now.
Yeah, okay. Oh, bye.
Bye, Thomas.
By Thomas the Tank Engine.
Shortly after the call, the last thing Mal would ever
That's all I really need to hear. I think she... Why did she go public with this? Is it because he didn't want to be with her after all this ended? I mean, he's clearly a fuckboy, a loser. He's pretending to be like a fucking virgin while being 35. He's pretending to be like 19 and unexperienced. But he's not like a rapist or a predator. Like, I have a feeling this Dutch girl, this Mal, whatever, she went public just because he pissed her off afterwards. Like, I don't know, maybe he didn't want to be with her or some shit. I don't know. She's pretending to be far more naive than she actually is.